Key signatures. So what is a key signature? Well, first of all music is written and played in a key signature. So what is it? The simplest definition is that it's a group of notes. So how do you find the group of notes in a key? Turns out to be very simple. All you do is play the natural intervals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, from the root note of the key that you're trying to find the notes for. So for example, if I started on an F down here, and I play the natural intervals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, that's just the standard major scale. I just played the notes in the key of F. They were F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, back to F. Let's say I want to find the notes in the key of G. I simply start on a G and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The names of those notes: G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, back to G. So we can say that the key of G has the signature of 1 sharp, which was that F sharp note. No two keys contain the same group of 7 notes. Some have a lot of the same notes in them, but there are no two keys that are identical as far as the names of the notes that they contain. So we're going to be concentrating on the key of G, and we're going to be there for quite some time. But now that we know what the notes in the key of G are, and again they are G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp, now that we know what they are, we want to be able to play them everywhere on the neck of the guitar. So we're going to use positions. Most guitar players learn positions of some type. And there are many ways that you can finger the notes on the neck of the guitar to come up with the notes in a key. And they're all correct. But what we're going to be doing is trying to find the notes in the easiest way to play them across the neck like this. There's no reason in the beginning to make complicated fingerings to play something. We're going to try and make it simple. So these 5 fingerings that I show you are the simplest ways that you can play these when you play across the neck like this. And what I actually want to do before I play them is show you the diagram in the book that's illustrating this. And again, I'm hoping this comes out okay. So what you're seeing there, and I'm calling these modal positions. Mode just means scale. So these are also going to give you the 7 additional scales, which we'll talk about in a minute, that are in the key. So at the top of each one of these modal positions, mode means scale, modal is plural. So a modal position, you're going to find out that these positions are giving you the fingerings to play all of the different scales that occur in a key. So each one of these, the top one is showing you the fingers to use, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, and in some instances you have to shift up or down by a fret to find these notes. And below that you see the names of the notes that you're playing. Okay, so that's how they are in the book. I'm going to play through these things right now. So what I'm calling the first position is going to start down here on an F sharp note. All right, so we're just trying to find all the notes as they fall across like this. So here we go. F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. All right, so I'll do that again without saying the names of the notes. Again, that's just another way to find these notes. So that was the first position. The second position. Now these are all going to overlap a little bit, which is a good thing. Second one is going to start on the 5th fret A, and there are going to be a couple of times that we shift. We're going to have to shift down a fret and then back up a fret. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. Okay, the third position is going to start on this B note on the 7th fret. And it's going to go B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. The next one starts on D with your second finger. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. We'll do that again. Okay, and our final position is going to be up here, starting on E on the 12th fret. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. After that, that would repeat. You would be back up here on an F sharp note, playing the same fingering that you did down here. And you just keep going until you run out of frets. I do want to talk about what we're going to call the open position down here. It's going to be the same as the one that I just showed you starting on E, but everywhere you play on the 12th fret up here, when we move it down to the open position, is going to be an open string. There's an F sharp note here that falls below this 12th fret. Okay, when we move it down here, we're not going to be able to play that F sharp on this string, so what we're going to do is this. I'll show you up here first. You're going to play the F sharp here, and that just leaves now two notes on this string. So one more time. When I bring that down to the open position, remember all 12th fret notes are going to be open strings. Okay, so those are the 5 positions. Now again, there are many fingerings that anybody could use to play the notes into key, but for all the things that are coming up later that we're going to discuss related to scales, it's going to require that you definitely use these fingerings that I just went over. Okay, so before you do anything else, I'm going to continue in the video, but before you do anything else in terms of trying to grasp what's going on here, you've got to get those positions down. Again, nothing has to be fast, but you have to be very, very comfortable with where those notes are in every position with no mistakes. Okay? So continuing on, we're going to talk about the additional scales that are generated from that original set of intervals, which was a major scale, right? We played the natural intervals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 from a G, so that gave us a G major scale. So we're going to talk about the 6 additional scales derived from those 7 notes. Again, people call these modes. They're really just scales. This is where Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian come from. They're simply coming from those same notes that we just played. So in fact, I just played all of the scales everywhere on the neck of the guitar when I just demonstrated those positions. Let's see. So I'm going to show you this diagram out of the book. This may not come out so well. What you're looking at is the neck of the guitar in the top part of the diagram, and underneath you're seeing boxes underneath that, and each box represents a half step. I've got the notes from the key of G along the 6th string, and directly below that all the notes, and below that, if you look left to right, you can see each note in the key being used as a root. Now we already started on G and know that we get the intervals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But as soon as you start on an A, so look left to right, look directly underneath that A note to where you see the 1 in the shaded box, and look left to right. This scale is now going to go A, B, C, D, E, F sharp back to G. When you do that, it shifts where those half steps were. They're no longer between a 3 and a 4 and a 7 and an 8. Since they've shifted, we get a different interval structure. So you should be looking at this diagram for some time if you're not familiar with this material. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you another diagram. And this is what we end up with. I could show you this in the book, but I don't think you're going to see it too clearly. So that previous diagram that I just showed you should explain to you visually what's going on here. So when I start on G, we know that we have the original intervals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The technical name for that scale is Ionian. It's a major scale. The chord produced is G major 7. That's all on Roman numeral number 1 there. The Roman numerals down the left-hand side are just indications of degrees of the key, just simply the numbered scale that it is out of the key. So if you look at Roman numeral 2, if we start on A again and play A, B, C, D, E, F sharp back to G, the interval structure is from A, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, and flatted 7. Right? So it produces a minor scale, produces an A minor 7 chord. The name of the scale is Dorian. So every time we move to a different root note, those two original half steps are shifting every time. So it changes the interval structure every single time. And intervals, or if you remember back a couple of videos, intervals determine what you hear when you listen to music. So all of these scales sound drastically different from each other. So take a screenshot of that, whatever you got to do, copy this down, buy the book, whatever you want to do. But this is what needs to become familiar to you. You don't have to memorize all of these intervals right now. Right now, I'm interested in you just understanding the concept of how these scales are created. At this point, what I want you to do is, if you look at those chord names, G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, D dominant 7, E minor 7, and F sharp minor 7 flat 5, that's what I want you to memorize. Now we're going to start working on one scale at a time, but even though that's the case, I still want you to memorize the chord that occurs or is produced from each scale in the key. So memorize those chords, and I'm actually going to right now show you a way to play all of those. Again, the more ways you know how to play these, the better, but I'm not going to take the time in this video to go through all the chord voicings that you could use. So if you think back to that exercise we did where we took a major 7 chord, changed it to a dominant 7, a minor 7, and a minor 7 flat 5, and then we flatted the root. So we did that exercise to get those fingerings together. So now we're going to use those fingerings and place those chords strictly within the key of G. Now, because the root was always on the 6th string for each one of those chords, we're going to be starting on a G root, and then we're going to physically move up to an A root, B root, C, D, E, F sharp, G. We're just going to follow those roots as we go up with the chord types that we just saw that were produced. So it was G major 7. So we can say that's the 1 chord, the first chord in the key of G. Then it goes to A minor 7, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, B minor 7, the 4 chord, C major 7, the 5 chord, D dominant 7, the 6 chord, E minor 7, the 7 chord, kind of hard to play up here. If you want, you can move it all the way down here to the 2nd fret. So that's F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to G major 7. So let me play these one more time, and then your work is going to be to memorize the chords and start working on these voicings.